Hello, everyone. Lisette here. Today, I wanted to give you a couple of techniques that you can use in meetings or trainings that will help make things more interactive beyond just the standard polls and chats. Our first inspiration comes from the Liberating Structures community. And for those of you who know Liberating Structures, 1, 2, 4 all will not be new to you. It starts with an individual brainstorm, then you put people into pairs so that they can discuss the topic at hand. You then combine the pairs into fours where they can continue the conversation and compare similarities and differences. And then you bring those groups back to the main room to debrief on the discoveries and insights that they've had. In my workshops, I use it for people to describe the challenges and the good things that they're going through in regards to remote and hybrid working. This helps get the conversation started and makes it a little bit more interactive instead of just everybody going around the circle and saying what's good and what's not good about the way that they're working. The next technique that I use is the bingo game. And it sounds quite silly, but it's an easy technique that you can use for anything. In the Collaboration Superpowers workshops, we talk about better meeting design, but instead of just giving people a list of techniques that they can use, we try to make it more interactive, and we use bad meeting bingo to do this. The larger group is split into different teams, and each team brainstorms all the different meeting design techniques that they think would improve the quality of their meetings. They get one thing per sticky note. They then compare their answers to my answers. And for all similar answers, they give themselves a star, and the team with the most stars gets a prize. This simple game design technique allows them to brainstorm their own techniques and compare them to my techniques that I wanted to convey to them during the workshop. It's much more interactive and engaging than me just reading a list of great meeting tips. And the competitive nature of it makes an otherwise boring topic kind of fun. My next engagement technique is to use drawing. Now, I know it scares everybody to draw something, but as you'll see in my drawing here, you don't need great drawing skills in order to join into this exercise. The idea behind drawing something is that it engages our brain in a different way, and it helps people to understand us in a different way. The idea behind my drawing, the exercise was when you're working at your best, you are like what? And for me, I am like a really good dance party. So it does something for me to draw that out, and it does something for the other person to see what it is that's in my head. We can understand each other a little bit better. Now, the downside to doing this with paper is that with virtual backgrounds and screens, it can often blur the pages, and people don't want to unblur. So that can be something to take into account. But otherwise, it's really nice to have something that's physical in an otherwise virtual world. Now, if you're feeling daring, you can ask people to draw something on a virtual whiteboard. As many of you know, I am a big fan of this technique because I believe in the power of visualization for teams. Whether we visualize our work or how we work together or how the work flows, I think that talking more in pictures instead of just words and text can make a much bigger difference. In order to get people warmed up to the idea of drawing on a whiteboard, because it definitely does not feel natural, especially when you're using a mouse, I like to use Pictionary. It takes just a few minutes. One of my favorite websites for this is the Game Gals word generator. I always tell my teams try to pick a medium word and then choose new word, draw that word, and have your team guess what that is. And so, as you can see, with very simple drawings, people can guess what each other are talking about and have a bit of fun while learning how to draw on the whiteboard. So consider using techniques like this to help engage your meeting or training participants in a fun and new way while teaching them a handy skill. And I have saved the most common one for last, and that is the simple use of breakout groups. Getting people in smaller groups is a great way to bring up great ideas, have more discussions, and engage more people in general. Now, as I mentioned before, it's good to manage expectations. If people are showing up and expecting a webinar and then all of a sudden finding themselves in breakout rooms where they have to engage with other professionals, that's not the experience that most people want to have. So make sure people know that it's going to be interactive. That's important. A couple of fun breakout room techniques that you can try are one, let people choose their own rooms. So you can set up topics and say, okay, go to the room that interests you the most to talk about. And there's a great exercise that I use called Build on Each Other. And it involves people doing a particular exercise in groups and then moving that exercise to the next group and allowing the next group to build on the original idea. So everybody sort of builds on each other's ideas. And then we come back and see what the entire group has built. One last tip before we go. With any engagement technique, you want to give people a way to opt out and not join if they want to. So, what I always tell participants in my workshops is if I call on you and I'm just asking you to summarize something or give your opinion and you don't want to answer for any reason, just say pass. You don't need to explain yourself or let me know what's going on. I assume you have the best interest for yourself in mind and we'll move on to the next person. So, that's a great way of creating a little bit of psychological safety in an online environment. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed those tips and I hope you have great engaging meetings from here on out. I'll see you online. If you want to learn more about how to rock the flexible first workplace, then join one of our live interactive workshops. Our community of professional licensed facilitators will show you how to succeed in this flexible first landscape happening all over the world and in many different languages. Or join one of our complimentary virtual co-working sessions where we'll show you what a productivity power hour looks like. You'll get things done, meet new people, and hopefully have some fun along the way. Until then, everybody, we'll see you online.